Well, welcome to Mission Aviation Fellowship, headquartered here in Nampa, Idaho. My name is Jimmy, and this is Brock. And Brock, he's going to help us understand not only the impact Mission Aviation Fellowship is having, but also how you can get involved. Thank you, brother, so much for your time here.
Jimmy.
I'm looking forward to this. It's super exciting.
So am I.
Yeah, good deal. Well, Brock, help us understand what's your service role here, and how did you get involved with Mission Aviation Fellowship?
You bet. I serve right now as what's called the VP of Global Impact. It's a new position. We might even change the name.
Okay.
But essentially, I oversee our international flight programs in the countries where we serve. And it's really geared towards all of our executive leadership team members work with our international flight programs. But my role is more geared towards thinking strategically and planning missionally. How are we making sure that we're using the resources God has given us to carry out his mission?
Yeah. In light of that, what is Mission Aviation Fellowship's mission?
Okay. I always like to start with the vision, right? And you'll understand why. So the vision is to see isolated people changed by the love of Christ.
Amen. Amen.
And the reason I start with that is our mission statement is to serve together to bring help, hope, and healing through aviation. Wonderful. But if you take that by itself, you could put about any non-government organization or humanitarian aviation operation in that box.
Okay.
The important thing that makes us different is the love of Christ piece. We want to see people's lives changed through Jesus.
Amen.
Yeah.
Wonderful. In light of that, who does Mission Aviation Fellowship serve? And give us a glimpse of where that is globally.
Okay. Who we serve is really as diverse as where we serve. So let's start there. We serve globally. MAF is comprised of a number of organizations that all fly under the same banner. And so globally, we have 24 countries where we have flight programs. MAF US is involved in 12 of those.
Okay, wonderful.
And those are Indonesia, a restricted access country in Southeast Asia, another restricted access country in South Central Asia. Africa, we're in the Democratic Republic of Congo in 2 locations, and then in Mozambique and in Lesotho. Yeah. And then we're also restarting a program in Haiti, where we had to pull out because of the gang violence, but now have moved back in outside of Port-au-Prince. Yeah. And then we're also in Ecuador. Okay. We work closely with other programs in Latin America, in Suriname, in Brazil, in Guatemala and Mexico as well.
Yeah, yeah. And you mentioned earlier about your service in the military.
Yes.
Yeah, what did you do there?
Mostly I was an instructor pilot, but then it kind of moved up into leadership as my career went on. Finished most of my career as a reservist.
Yeah, well, we thank you for your service, brother, for sure.
You bet.
With that, as far as making an impact, what are some examples or a example of how Mission Aviation Fellowship really made an impact that really stands out to you?
Yeah, great question. Great question. I'll reflect on one that happened in a village called Daboto, which is in the highlands of Papua, Indonesia, which is the western half of the island of New Guinea. Yeah. And in this village, we work with partners from Ethnos 360 who have been involved in Bible translation for years. And just last year, I can still see the picture. They carry their babies, the Papuans carry their babies in what's called a nokin, and it's like a big sack that they rest over they carry it on the top of their head, and it rests in the back with the baby in it. Right. And this picture is the first couple ever in that village to allow twins to survive. Wow. Because the animistic beliefs that are so ingrained there that have now been overcome by sharing the gospel. Yeah. Led all the families to kill one of the 2 twins. Wow, because they always thought it was an evil spirit impersonating the other one. So they'd kill the evil spirit. Yeah. And now the first family ever has decided that that's not true. Wow. Both these babies are precious. They both deserve to live. Man, that is an impact for sure. The love of Jesus is amazing, isn't it? Yeah, it really is.
Wow, really is. That is wonderful. Well, what are some of the various ways, of course, being a pilot, it's well known, serving with MAF, but what are some other ways some of our community, they're not a pilot, how could they get involved and serve?
I have to mention that we do need pilots, and I'm just going to throw that out there because
please.
My military background, but because a lot of people leaving the service, I think, could find a home in MAF. Okay. And then also mechanics. We even more than pilots, we need mechanics right now. Okay. Beyond that, we have unique positions that sometimes come up. Right now, we're testing out the idea of bringing in people that have leadership experience and also cross-cultural experience. So it would be
Yeah.
both of those to come in and potentially lead some of our field programs.
Okay.
We are looking at other unique roles like they're unique in the aviation realm, like a director of safety, director of quality. So people, if they come in with quality background or safety background, and then occasionally we have roles that are more of a one-off, like a facilities manager in a base
Yeah.
environment overseas.
Okay.
We always need teachers.
Okay.
We have teachers that serve in missionary kid schools.
Yeah.
They can be something like a co-op school or even a K through 12 school. And then we also need IT people.
Okay.
And the IT people usually are more focused on keeping our infrastructure going and our connectivity going.
Yeah.
But they also have opportunities to minister in other areas as well where they serve.
Great. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
And as far as there's a pilot out there, IT individual, they're raring to go. God's been really pricking that heart.
Yeah.
Where do they go? To the website, or facilitate that for us
You
and
bet.
help us understand how to do that?
You bet. Our website, maf.org. If you go there, I think it's titled Where We Serve.
Yeah.
And if you go on that link, it talks about overseas, it talks about in the U.S., different locations, but there's an inquiry form. If you scroll down, like if you hit overseas and you scroll down, there's an inquiry form. And really it's a spot where someone can just go and say, hey, God has pricked my heart. I'm interested.
Okay.
What can I learn?
Good deal.
And so I would recommend going there.
We'll do it. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Is there anything that we haven't stated that we need to really rivet the point with before we leave for today?
Well, I just, I served in the Air Force.
Okay.
Never, ever thought I would serve in missions.
Yeah.
But like you said a while ago, God pricked my heart, my wife's heart, and that started the journey. And I would just say, if you're feeling that calling, if you're feeling that nudge from the Lord, press into it. Press into it and see where it will go.
Amen.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for your time here.
You bet.
And you guys, thank you for joining as well. Be sure to like and subscribe to see more ways God is using his people. And the next time he's going to use those people, it's going to be you. Hey, we'll see you next time.